Hello, and welcome to the 4th episode of No One Asked. I'm Lindsey Staub, and I'm here with a very special guest today. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Keith Staub.
That's my dad!
Yes, we are.
So, yeah, we're just driving in traffic, and so we just thought we would do this to make the trip go faster. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a man. I have a family and a job, and Lindsey's one of my 3 favorite people.
Oh, that's so nice. I feel like they really got a grasp on who you are. You're a man with a family and a job. All right. Let's move into the first segment, which is called Literally No One Asked, where we offer advice to anybody or anything that didn't ask for it. Do you have anything on your mind that jumps out to you?
Yeah, the thing that comes to mind first is Donald Trump. And my advice to Donald Trump, shut up and listen to people.
Yeah. Is there anything recently that has sparked that? Or just...
You mean as of today? Because every day he needs more and more advice. So the advice of today is don't invite Russia to join the G7 because you're buddies with Putin. Not a good idea.
What is G7?
It's a group of countries and their leaders, and that group threw Russia out of it, and now Trump is suggesting we allow them back in.
Why did they throw Russia out of it?
I'm not quite sure.
How recent were they thrown out, like a long time ago, or like?
Again, I'm not sure. I don't think it was that long ago, but it was probably within a few years. Maybe when Obama was president, but I'm guessing. What does
G7 do?
I don't know exactly what they do, but it's a group of countries, like, I don't know, England, Canada, maybe Great Britain, etc.
Is it like an ally network or no?
How's this advice?
Oh, I'm just curious.
It's kind of an ally network, I guess, yeah.
Oh my God, he wants to invite Russia in?
Yeah, he probably thinks Russia can add to the world economy if they're more involved.
What could Russia do? I feel like, what could they do though if we let them in? Like, it's not like they'll have we'll be able to overrule them with the other people who are in it.
Well, I don't know what they could do. I just know that they have impacted our previous election, and they can't be trusted in my view.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, did the FBI ever go further into that and come up with their decision? You know what I mean?
Well, I think they're being investigated. That's public knowledge. The election and whether it was there was interference by the Russians.
All right. Well, that was good advice. You came up with that fast.
Yeah.
All right. For my advice of the week, I guess I'll do it for seniors. Now that it's summer, at least at my school, this is for the rising seniors because I graduated yesterday. So that's not me anymore. I'm not a senior, but I guess for them, my advice is to start doing college apps in August. I started mine August 1st. That was a good idea. Try to narrow down all your schools to be ones that you actually want to go to, not ones you're applying to because the people around you are applying there and you're stressed out about it. Because there's at least half of my schools I didn't want to go to, and I still applied. And
would you do that over again if you had the chance?
I mean, I wouldn't want to redo it because that was so miserable, and I liked the outcome. But I think if I had to redo it, I would do it so differently.
How so?
I would spend way more time going through and picking colleges and like researching them more before just applying to them. Because we had that Princeton book that listed like all the colleges, and I just literally like opened to a page and was like, okay, my finger landed on this college, let's just apply there. I didn't actually do that, but that's what it was like. Because I applied to so many colleges like in the Midwest, which I would never want to go to. Like, that's not my vibe. But like the bulk of the colleges I applied to were in the Midwest, or like the South. I applied to like colleges in the South, which didn't make sense.
Well, looking back, is there a college you wish you had applied to that you didn't?
Probably. I don't know, not one jumps out to me. And I think out of all the colleges, like, I think the one I'm going to, like, makes the most sense and is, like, the best for me. But I think, like, in case I hadn't gotten in there, I don't know. I only had, like, one other option of a college I liked. The rest were, like, it would have sucked to go there, so. But that said, I feel like all colleges are pretty much the same. Like, you're not gonna know what you're missing out because you're going to the college you chose, you know? So you'll probably be fine anywhere you go.
Yeah, that could be true. It's just a matter of different locations and different kind of weather.
Yeah, a different type of people.
Yeah.
But I feel like weather isn't enough of a factor. Like, there's more important things when choosing a college than the weather.
That's for sure. I agree with you there.
Yeah. I think, like, the people, the kind of people there are probably the most important.
1,000 feet. Stay to the right to I-405 South.
Sorry, that's our GPS.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Stay to the right to I-405 South.
There she is again, giving advice.
Oh, she wants to join in. All right, those were good. Okay, so our first question is, how do you confront a roommate about their hygiene?
Well, you gotta be delicate about it, obviously. You can't be offensive. On the other hand, you don't want to keep it to yourself if you're suffering, so maybe just make a suggestion, an offhand suggestion, like, doesn't make it look too annoying, but just, do you think you can clean up a little bit in the bathroom when you're done, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Just as a kind of question versus, you need to clean up in the bathroom more often, it stinks.
Yeah, you just have to ask them to do stuff. You can't.
And you don't want it to build up, because the resentment will build up, and before you know it, you'll explode, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, that sounds like the worst, thing that could happen. Rooming with someone who has bad hygiene.
Yeah, it's kind of like Quasimodo has a back problem.
What's that? Who is Is Quasimodo a real thing or no?
Of course, no, he's fictional. A book I've written about him.
He's a fictional person?
He's a fictional person in a famous book.
What book?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, is Quasimodo the Hunchback?
He is indeed.
Wow.
That's why he has back pain.
Wow. So we got the phrase of the week out of the way. Carly's was way worse. Carly's was like...
Oh, good. Then came into second best to way worse.
Yeah, okay, wait. So, the hygiene, though.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a roommate where you thought that had terrible hygiene?
Not that I can recall. Of course, most of my roommates are, back in my college days, were men, and every man had hygiene problems.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to be offended no matter what, because people just get embarrassed.
Yeah,
but
perhaps.
You just have to be nice.
You gotta do it, because, especially if you're living in that environment, and it's not very unpleasant, you shouldn't have to suffer.
Yeah.
There should be a way that you can compromise and everybody gets what they want.
Yeah. And you can't keep, like, repeating it to them. Like, you can't keep saying, did you clean up the bathroom today? Like,
Right,
you just have to do it once.
Right. You can't be annoying about it.
Yeah.
You bring it up and you hope they get the point, and then you wait a while.
Yeah. All right, so I hope that helped you, question asker. Okay, our next one is, how do you deal with friends who don't have a backbone and can't stand up for themselves?
Well, that's a tough one, because you can't change somebody very easily by just suggesting that they stand up for themselves. That takes a long time to learn that ability. So you really have to be gentle about it and perhaps tell the person why it would benefit them to stand up for themselves, so that they realize they're entitled to certain respect and that they have the right to mention it to people who are disrespecting them.
Yeah, that's an idea. But like the first time that you need to help them, you should like coach them through it. Like, you should tell them, you should practice with them, so you can give them ideas of what they should say, maybe, and like when to do it. And then I think once someone does it the first time and they have that help, then it gets easier. It's just like the first time's scary because you don't know how people are going to react.
Yeah. It all comes down to self-esteem. You got to love yourself before anybody else does. And if you do, then you won't worry as much about what everybody thinks, because you know that you're in the right.
Okay. So our next question is, the boy I love is leading me on. What do I do? I feel like if he's leading you on, you should just cut it off. Because that's sad. He's not worth your time.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on why you think he's leading you on. You know, if you're absolutely certain about it, maybe you're wrong about it. But if you're sure about it and you know that he doesn't have good intentions, then yeah.
Yeah.
You should end it.
Yeah. Did you used to lead people on in your youth when you were a player?
Well, A, I don't think I was ever a player, and B, I never led anybody on.
That's good. You're a stand-up guy.
I am indeed.
All right. We're only 15 minutes in, but I ran out of questions.
Well, maybe I can ask you some advice questions.
All right.
So, what would you tell somebody who you thought, if it was a friend who you thought was drinking too much?
Like in one night, or just like overall?
Overall, over a course of time.
If you wanted your friend to stop drinking as much, like, you should lead by example and like not drink, and then be like, oh, let's not drink together this time, and then show them that it can be fun too. Or just like confront them and be like, you're gonna throw your life away, but not like that. You know, just be nicer. But you should tell them, like, oh, like, you kind of think they're drinking a lot, like maybe like is there a reason why that they're drinking so much, you know? And then you can have a therapy session where you guys discuss the issues in your friend's life that cause her to drink as much as she is.
Good advice.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Yes.
Let's say you have a friend who has been very depressed over a lengthy period of time, let's say for several months, if not longer, and you're becoming worried about her or him, and you think that, and they may even have mentioned to you that they just don't want to live anymore. What would you do in that instance?
That's so sad. I don't know. You'd probably try to convince them to go see a therapist. Or if that didn't work, I don't know, you just have to keep, like, begging them to see a therapist, I guess. Like, you can say, like, it's not embarrassing, it's, like, not something to avoid. Like, especially if you can afford it. And I think, like, if you're in college, I mean, I don't know what this question is about. I'm assuming you're preparing me for college, but...
No, not at all. I'm just wondering in general, wherever you encounter these friends, whether in high school or in college or even after.
Then you just have to convince them that there's no downside, especially if they have the money, to seeing a therapist. And, like, I just don't understand for people who don't see them, that need them. Like, you have an option to be happier, or at least, like, try to make things better, and, like, I don't know why you wouldn't do that, because, like, that's something that you could take into your own hands to, like, improve your life, possibly. And there's, like, it's not, besides the money, there's no downside, you know? It's not, like, embarrassing or anything, so...
Well, a lot of people, I think, believe that if they're going to see a therapist, it must mean that they're crazy.
Yeah.
Or that they should be hospitalized.
Yeah.
And certainly don't want that to get out to anybody. So they hide it, they keep it to themselves, they don't want to tell anybody. You think that's a good idea?
No. Literally everyone sees a therapist. Like, so many more people than you'd expect see therapists. You just don't know because everyone's quiet about it, but you're definitely not the only person.
Well, here's what I think. I think that the fact that you see a therapist doesn't mean you're crazy, doesn't mean you're any different than anybody else. It just means that you're taking one of those options you mentioned.
Yeah.
And you're trying to help yourself be a happier person. Why wouldn't anybody do that?
Yeah. That's so timely with
Anthony
Bourdain and Kate Spade.
Yeah. These are people with families and children. Maybe they got therapy, maybe they didn't, but I'm sure they kept a lot of this to themselves.
Yeah.
I guess that they didn't want it to affect their careers, but in the meantime, they hurt their families and they hurt themselves and they hurt their friends because they killed themselves, and nobody gained from that. So
Yeah.
do what you have to do to get better.
I feel like famous people die in packs. Remember when Michael Jackson died? And then the OxyClean guy died, and what's her name? Fontaine? What was her name? Sarah Fontaine?
No.
Farrah Fawcett, that's what it was.
Farrah? Who?
Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, yeah.
She died too that same week. The three of them all died in 1 week.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett had cancer, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then I don't remember how the OxyClean guy died. And then with Michael Jackson, didn't he like overdose or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. That's like the first famous death I remember. Because I was like homesick that day. And Grandma was watching me. And she was like, Michael Jackson died. And I was like, I don't know who that is. Because I was so young.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't even seem that long ago.
Yeah, it was a long time. I was in elementary school, I think. So it must have been like at least 8 years ago.
Well, for some of us, 8 years is not a long time.
All right. Well, that's all the questions we have today. We got the phrase of the week, which was, gosh, what was it?
Quasimodo?
Quasimodo. That's such a weird name.
That was his name.
Quasimodo has back pain.
He lived because he had a hump.
Thank you for joining me, Dad.
And thanks to all my fans out there in the world. Peace and love.
If you want to ask me any questions, you can email me at lindseystaub00@gmail.com. If you have fan mail for my dad,
keep it to yourself.
He has a P.O. box. But yeah, thanks for listening. This has been another episode of No One Asked.